Hi, it's Rita at Gold Medical Jobs, and I wanted to check in with you today. I had scheduled to have our guest Mary, my good friend Mary, who's running a wellness business, and she has a long, wonderful nursing career. But my mom was not feeling well, and so I had to spend a few hours taking care of that. And I had to cancel my appointment with Mary. It's her youngest of her four daughters' birthdays. So that baby turned 27 today. Anyway, hi May, happy birthday. I'm a little short of time today, but I started recently to to provide the good news that there are a lot of jobs for healthcare professionals throughout the states. And I intend to do some research, and my February blog will address that. And Mary is on the East Coast, and so she will speak to that as well. So what I did, because I don't have a lot of empirical knowledge for you to date, I did the briefest of research online, and I just chose two major hospitals in California. I chose the University of California, San Diego, and the University of California, San Francisco medical centers. I briefly went to their websites, and let me tell you, there's lots of jobs. So for San Diego at UCSD, the first three jobs I saw were for medical assistants and for RNs. For RNs, there was a position for an ER nurse, and for RNs, there was a job for special procedures, which is pretty near and dear to my heart. I did work in cardiac cath and special procedures for a few years part-time. Loved it. And so just, seconds of a glance to a hospital's website, you will either go to the HR department, their job board, their job search, usually on the website somewhere they'll have that, or I think at UCSF it said join our team. And so go to the website, be a little patient, and you will find jobs. So I looked briefly at UCSD and saw those, jotted them down, the RN, ER, the RN special procedures, and two medical assistant jobs, I believe. And then that icon that says more, it said plus 100 more. There were 100 more positions. USF, I spent a little bit more time because they showed a huge list initially. So I just started jotting down what I saw. I saw 5 nurse manager positions. It was neurology, pediatrics, nurse educator, OBGYN, something else, I'm not sure, lots. And that was just the beginning of a long list. I saw 5 medical assistants. I saw 2 audiologists, your ear, and 2 ultrasound technicians. I saw 2 nurse practitioners, and I saw 3 LVN positions. So that was just a quick look. So yes, there are jobs, okay? And so if you're interested in moving, or you're interested in adding on, I know a lot of nurses don't want to lose one skill while they're working at another. So say you have an interest in pediatrics, but you're currently working on a telemetry floor somewhere, you could maybe sign up to do a per diem or a home health pediatric, and try to, hone in on that skill. I recently was talking to a human resource manager for a home health agency, and I was asking her, how does that work for per diem nurses? Because agencies traditionally are placing you, one, they're placing you at a job, a permanent position. That's an employment agency, right? 2, providing work, per diem work, and or depending on the agency, providing travel assignments, which traditionally are 90 days or 3-month assignments, or however many weeks they call it, 13-week assignments. So, so she said the nurses, because it's primarily a private duty home health, no, a private duty nursing agency is what the HR gal was working for many years. I think she said she'd been there 20 years, and to me she looked like she was 25. But anyway, she'd been there for 20 years, and she said it's feast or famine. So if you're trying out different things, and maybe you have a full-time job, or you're trying out different things and you have a lot of flexibility in your schedule, you might want to sign up with more than one agency. So she said what happens with her agency, because they utilize more LVNs for the shift work for private duty with patients. So those are a lot of 12 hours, sometimes 8-hour or 10-hour, but mostly 12-hour shifts. They'll bring an LVN into the home for 12 hours at night or 12 hours during the day, or both round the clock, and lots of private duty positions that way. For the RNs, those come far and few between because it's more expensive. And even if it's subsidized a little bit by insurance, it's not generally covered. So a 12-hour shift for an RN could be a lot of money. Could be, the billing could be $50 an hour. The nurse might make $38-40 an hour. That's a lot of money. So not every average person can afford that, but some can. And so she said what the nurses do is they might pick up a 12-hour shift when it's busy and that's available, but they might do shorter shifts, which are more hourly pay, and go visit a patient for an hour here, an hour there, 1 or 2 patients. And that's what they do as their supplement to keep fresh in other things, whether it's pediatrics or geri care. You might have to check on an IV or some medical equipment or introduce a new med. So they're very brief 1-hour visits, and that's going to pay 40-something, $50 an hour. That's San Diego. Okay, so those are some other options. And did I tell you what San Francisco had? I did. Yeah, San Francisco, just barely looking at the list, I saw 5 RNs, 2 nurse practitioners, 2 ultrasound techs, 3 LVNs, 5 medical assistants, a couple of audiologists, tip of the iceberg. So there just are so many jobs out there. I'm going to have to run because I have another appointment, but I will try to get together with Mary, and she'll give you an idea of what she knows from her perspective and her recruitment and East Coast, what she knows about the East Coast job market. She's in upstate New York, but she frequently goes to Long Island and to Manhattan, and has a pretty good perspective and a pretty wide range of colleagues to draw from. I did want to say something else. Most hospitals, whether they be private, public, county hospitals, university hospitals, federally funded hospitals, a lot of hospitals have religious affiliations. They might be Methodist or Jewish or Seventh-day Adventist. We have Loma Linda in Southern California. Most of those jobs have a website. Most of those jobs have a job board, a job search on their website. You can always contact the HR department and so forth. And always look to Gold Medical, because Gold Medical actually has healthcare employers as their clients. So they're posting their needs. And if you see that it's a surgical center, you see that it's a skilled nursing facility, there's nothing to stop you from going through Gold Medical and introducing yourself and letting them know you're interested in something specific. You're a med nurse, you're an IV nurse, you're a medical assistant, you're a certified nurse aide or home health aide with X amount of years of experience with geriatrics. So Gold Medical Jobs is a place to meet up and to look at one another and that adds even more possibilities. So I did want to start off the new year by saying there's lots of jobs. We need you. You're wonderful. And I'll provide more detailed and specific information when I get the February blog going. And oftentimes when I'm talking to you, I like to have a Q&A. And so I'm going to give you a funny one today because it came up by accident. And so here's the question. If you have a cold and you're congested and you can't seem to cough it up, do you take Mucinex or do you take Metamucil? Dun, 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 dun. You take Mucinex. And I can't pronounce the generic name. It's like Guaifesin or something. But that came up when my mom was trying to describe how she felt. And I always encourage her to drink more and all of these things. And I explained to her a while ago that Mucinex, even though it's a hard pill to swallow for her, it's a bigger pill, that it will help her because she needs the expectorant. And so she was trying to brag about herself a little bit on the phone yesterday. And she said, no, I'm resting and I'm taking Metamucil. Sorry about that. It just was pretty cute. So yeah, if you need an expectorant, you can get it in some of the cough elixirs, but you can get Mucinex over the counter for your expectorant. Thanks so much. Tune in again. I'll be here. I'll bring friends and have a beautiful weekend if I don't talk to you again. Thank you.